waited all winter for this.
It's the biggest race we have all year long.
The icons of this sport have all starred on its biggest stage.
It's the great American race. Trust me.
I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
Pull them belts tight one last time, boys. Light the fire.
Big push coming now for Harvick. Oh, and around goes a couple cars. Priest upside down. He's barrel rolling through the grass.
You got plenty of money. Don't need that to keep racing. Is it worth the risk to keep on going?
Win.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Bump and Run podcast. I'm your host, Michael D. White, joined by my two best friends, Matt the Statman Reilly and Robbie Shrey, or Shick Shitty Ricky, joined the program once again this week. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys had yourselves a Christopher Bale type of weekend. He was the big winner down in Atlanta. Only led once for one lap, but it was the most important lap. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about the podcast. We've been doing it this is our 5th season, year number 5. We've I'm assuming surpassed any other NASCAR podcast that's recorded in Northeast Pennsylvania. So make sure you tell.
We are the longest standing NASCAR podcast from Northeastern Pennsylvania. We might be the longest standing NASCAR podcast from Pennsylvania.
I wonder, I was going to say the same, but I don't know if I know Pocono had a podcast for a little bit. I never listened to it. I don't know if they still do it or not. I think they started during the pandemic, so they might have beat us by a couple of months. But make sure you like, share, subscribe. Fellas, how was your weekend? How's everything going?
Great. Yeah, good. Still struggling with the whole damaged truck thing. I'm getting it under the radar now.
I saw this. So they totaled it officially.
Yeah, and for anybody that's out there, dude, it wasn't bad.
No,
I don't know why they did, but they did. But hey, it is what it is. I was just worried I was gonna get kind of screwed on the deal. Like thought one of the heads of NASCAR slipped into my deal with the Nationwide there.
Oh yeah,
but they took care of me, and I thought one of the France family just started taking over Nationwide. No, I'm joking, but
so is it true what they say? Is Nationwide really on your side?
For me, yes. Okay. If I had to check a box, yes or no, and that's it. Yes, I had to put it. Yeah, they took care of me. They paid off my whole loan. That's all I cared about.
I was gonna say, I had to ask, did you have gap insurance? Because that is very important to always get gap insurance.
Here's a little tidbit for you, fellas. The only way you can get, as a consumer, gap insurance on a vehicle is if it's brand new.
Really?
If it's used, you can't. And if you go and buy your truck or your vehicle at a used car lot, the car lot to the bank
gets the gap
could
insurance.
Offer gap insurance, and that's how I was covered.
Okay, because I always go for the gap insurance just in case.
Yep.
I always had this fear anytime I bought a car that I'd be leaving the dealership and get T-boned or something stupid like that.
Well, there you go. So now you can ask where
that
you
would
get
happen to you, Whitey.
Yeah. Now you can ask though for your next one, if you get pre-owned or whatever, ask them like, hey, do you cover the guy and where I bought mine? And they do.
So they paid off your loan. If you want it to, can you keep the truck and just drive it damaged? Because, like you said, the damage didn't look that terrible.
Yeah, I was driving it for quite a while until they picked it up. They just picked it up today. They sent the truck out to go and get it. But yeah, you have the option. I didn't even ask because everybody knows everything about everything in this valley. But every scenario, I was just so over it. I was like, at one point I didn't know if I was going to get paid out, and then they're paying me out, and I was on the phone every day, every scenario, and then when it was down, like, hey, I got to the point where your loan's paid off, I didn't want to pick up the phone ever again and talk to these people and ask them how much is this truck going to be, because more than likely they're smart, they're going to sell it to me for $7,000, and then it's probably $6,000 to put in it. I'm right out square one, not worth it. So I'm like, junk it. I'll get a new one.
The reason why I ask, because I had a Ford Focus that got totaled, and the damage wasn't bad enough where they paid me out. I owed less on the loan than they paid me. So I made out on the deal, and I just gave them the car. But I always regretted not taking the money to pay off the loan and then keeping the car and just driving it damaged. Because the reason why I was told was because the cost to fix it with paint and everything was going to be more than what the car was worth. So they just want to pay it out because it's the cheapest option. You know?
Did you really want to put another clutch in that Focus, Whitey?
I never put a clutch in a car.
No?
I never had to. I never had to.
Nice.
And that car only had 110,000 miles on it. It was still in good shape.
That black one.
No, it was the blue one. The blue.
Nice.
No, the black one was in rough shape when I got rid of it. They gave me $500 on trade-in, and I was surprised I got $500. That thing went right to the junkyard.
But on another note, I did get had a good night. We didn't drink Friday at all, but Saturday I turned it on. I had a great time watching that race. It was amazing. I actually watched all of them. I watched the whole series this weekend, not planned it, and they're the best weekends. I just sat down and I'm like, oh wait, I think the race is on. Sure enough, I'm getting pre-truck. Next thing you know, I'm getting Xfinity. I never planned this at all. It just worked out that way.
Shrey, same exact thing happened to me, brother. I mean, obviously on Sundays, I think we're all the same, where like we move things around for the Cup race. But for Saturdays and Friday nights, if the truck race is on a Friday night, like I never move stuff around just because, like, we've all got stuff going on. So like I asked my wife to move us a lot around for, Notre Dame, for NASCAR. So like when it comes to trucks and Xfinity, like if I catch it, I catch it. If I don't, I don't. But same thing happened to me Saturday. We were just kind of around the house. We got our running around done early, and we were home. And I was like, oh, I think the truck race is starting soon. So I was able to catch it, while doing stuff around the house. And then same thing with Xfinity. We went out to dinner. Where we went? When was the last time you guys were at Tipsy Turtle?
I don't go to Tipsy Turtle anymore.
Not since my wife waitress there.
Yeah, it always gives me bellyache, so I just stopped going.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
It's probably been like
Notre
a 10
Dame crew, dude. Notre Dame, they love us, man.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So my wife was, being pregnant. She was craving the turtle bites and everything. So I'm like, let's go over. So, they have a million TVs. So I was watching the race there, and then got home and finished. I think we got home with like 50 to go or whatever. But I was able to watch, same thing with you, Shrey, like pretty much every lap of all three races this weekend, which is rare. And especially, I know we always talk about every season we talk about this, but like especially as it gets nicer out, the chances of me catching all three series gets smaller and smaller.
Or remembering them, even if you do watch them.
Right, because there's more drinking going on in the summertime, and then once you get into fall, football's on, and so I dedicate my Saturdays to college football. So
sir.
This is the springtime is really my time to catch the truck into Xfinity series, but great races.
Yeah, I missed the truck race. I wasn't able to watch it. I thought it was on Friday night, and I sat down to watch it on Friday night, and I turn on, and I'm like, oh shit, it's tomorrow at like 1:00, and I went out to lunch with our buddy Bubba. And but I did catch the Xfinity race. I listened to a lot of it while walking the dog, and then I came home and watched the rest. And man, that CW broadcast team is just fantastic.
Hey, wait, you didn't miss nothing with the trucks. Speaking of walking the dogs, Kyle Busch took the whole field out for a dog walk, dude. There you go. It was literally a dog walk.
He really did.
Did he?
He took them out of school, man.
And you want to know what? That's why I love Kyle Busch in the truck series. He just goes down and slaps those kids around a little bit, teaches them a lesson.
He needed to, though.
We've talked about this in the past, too, but I have like a NASCAR fantasy that I pray to God it happens, and I think Kyle has hinted toward it, and I think you guys know where I'm going with this, where once Braxton is old enough to run truck series, I would love to see Kyle Busch, like his last year of running full time in any series, to just run the whole truck series, and that's it.
Yeah.
No Xfinity, no Cup, just run the truck series the whole season, just to see what he could do with that.
Well, I like when he goes down there regardless, because it makes the boys honest.
Yep.
And those kids learn a lot from him too. They all say it too. They all say like,
I used to be one of those guys banging the drum where there used to be no restrictions to how many races Cup guys can run, and I used to be, and Kyle would obviously run all the time, and I used to be like, come on, like, what are we doing? Like, don't let him run all those. Like, I am embarrassed to say that I was one of those guys because I love it now when he goes down there and takes them out behind the woodshed because it's fun, and I think they hopefully they all learn something from.
Oh, they definitely do.
I think that restriction helps though, where it's like, oh, this is an anomaly. It's not every single week. They're not like bushwhacking like they used to do, where half the Cup Series is driving the Xfinity Series and winning fighting for a championship down there too. You know. But I totally agree. I'd love to see Kyle Busch run a truck series, full schedule, go out there, win a championship at like 42 or whatever. You know, how cool would that be? But before we jump into the rest of the weekend, I got a little NASCAR news to cover. Speaking of the Xfinity Series, Hendrick Motorsports bringing back the Xfinity team with the Cup drivers and Corey Day splitting time. William Byron's going to run the first race of the season for the new Hendrick Xfinity Series team this weekend at COTA. What's up?
Corey who?
It says Corey Day. I don't know.
I've never heard of that person before in my life. Should I have?
I wasn't sure either. That's just what the J-Ski article said. Let's look up Corey Day in real time.
Is he like a street circuit guy? Is he like someone?
Is that a new day of the week?
So he's 19 years old. He runs dirt track and stock car. He runs for.
I like it.
He competes full time in high limit racing, which is Kyle Larson's deal.
Sounds like a grassroots kind of guy.
So he's a dirt guy. Okay,
yeah. So. And he's running in Kyle Larson's series, so Larson probably put this deal together for him.
Yes, good.
So
good. I like it.
Yeah, should be interesting.
Boo.
Boo. We'll get to Kyle Larson.
I think I'm the only Kyle Larson fan in here. So I'll keep
a little peek.
I don't have no comments.
A little peek
and
behind
actually,
the curtain. A little peek behind the curtain for everyone, for everyone who listens to us. Shrey and I, we're in a couple different chats. Shrey, every chat that you've ever heard us talk about in the past, Shrey is in those chats as well. And so during the race, sometimes it gets heated. Sometimes everyone's in agreement. I love when we don't always agree because it makes for great conversation. But one thing, Trey and I are usually on the same page. At least I think we are.
Yeah.
Except for one thing, and that is Kyle Larson.
He's a dirty driver.
I'll take these off for the folks at home because Matt, with these horrible eyes, I owe you an apology. You were right. I had too many dangles, Ricky, and I wasn't going to lose an argument.
Yeah, but that's how I am too. So when we're butting heads, it's like,
yeah. But no,
you're a Kyle Larson fan. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm not at all.
Yeah.
And so, when he did, I guess we could wait till we get to the Cup side of things. But me and Shrey at the time did not agree how we saw that whole wreck go down at the end of the race.
I think we've had these conversations on the podcast a lot in the past. Kyle Larson's just a dirty driver. No doubt about it. He's just quietly dirty. And
I have an argument for you.
And that's the move he does. He does that move all the time, and then he does the same fucking excuse on pit road where he's like, "Oh, he was just coming in with a lot faster than I thought he was gonna be." And yeah, greatest driver in the world. Anyways,
Shrey, I'm always willing to hear somebody's point of view on how a wreck went down because maybe I'm seeing it wrong, and often,
no.
and I'll admit,
honestly, no. My only problem with that argument was you compared Kyle Larson to Dale Sr. and there's one current driver that you can make a comparison to Dale Sr. with, and it's the guy we were just talking about, Kyle Busch. Outside of that, nobody's even fucking close to Dale Sr. No, my thing was
this. Dale was a dirty driver
and
too.
I'm not going to get into the weeds of like what was said because I was just being ridiculous at one point. And I'm here to tell you, like, I owe you an apology, so I do apologize.
I don't accept your apology. You got fired up. You got out of respect. I don't because you don't need to apologize because you
I was wrong.
I respect it.
If you had to ask the question, was Kyle Larson egregious? Was that an egregious move? And you had to circle a box, yes or no, and there's no in between. It's simple, yes, no. you have to put yes.
You have to put yes. You have,
Yeah.
but context is important, because if that was the first time he did it, you wouldn't have heard a peep out of me. But that's the 18th time he's done it.
But here's my argument about it. The reason that I compared him to Dale Sr. is when you have a drivers that are on that level of talent, they'll do anything and everything to necessarily within their skill set to get across that checkered first. And here it is. The reason why Kyle Larson is probably liked and hated is because he's at a point where he's just on a tear and he's killing it. And he races really hard. And how many times last year did we sit here and we were like, oh, Kyle Larson just overdrove it. He wrecks himself as much as he comes across that checkered. Yeah. So I just think he's an aggressive driver. And he is aggressive, and he does aggressive moves, but those aggressive moves can either make or break you. And then when you're him, you're not thinking it's going to break you. You're thinking like, hey, this is going to make me. Yeah. And that's why I compared him to Earnhardt Sr. Sr. wasn't liked. I will be here to tell you, I was here at Pocono, my first race. He got spit on, things thrown at him. He passes away in 2001, and then everybody out of the woodwork was like, oh my God, and they all embraced him. But if he didn't die, you would have a group of individuals that were Rusty Wallace fans, boom. You would have just fans of everybody. If he was ever behind your driver, you knew that coming on to turn 3, you were going to turn 4, you were going to get wrecked. And he was going to door you. He was going to do moves to get him to where he needed to be, that guy to come across the checkered first. And that's why they're not the same moves by no means. They're just moves that get you to hold a victory flag up.
100%. 100%. And I'm not going to take that away. Yeah, Dale was a dirty driver. Listen, I've said it a million times, there he is right there. Dale's,
I love him.
The Earnhardt family and the Earnhardt name in the Reilly family is royalty. So yeah, you're not going to get much of an argument out of me. But where I think that Kyle Larson, you said something where he'll do anything within his talent to win a race, as he should. But in my opinion, washing up a racetrack to cut a guy off isn't talent. I think I could do that. I think you guys could do that. Like doesn't take talent to do that. So
it's like dive bomb in turn 1. Yeah.
He's just done it a million times, and he doesn't want to. I don't know. He's just the anti. We don't have to get into the weeds about it because that's not what we're doing. But I don't know. I'm an anti Kyle Larson guy, and I will be going forward. I have in the past, and I certainly am going forward. He doesn't want to be in NASCAR, and I don't want him in NASCAR. He makes it clear.
I think he does.
His attitude every day is that he would rather be dirt racing. Go dirt race, dude. Take the money. You had your out. You had your out when you fucked up a couple years ago, and you came back crawling. So don't always complain about being in NASCAR, Kyle Larson.
I love him. I think he's great for the sport.
I'm not sorry. Fuck Kyle Larson.
I love him.
Dovin's not here, so somebody has to go on a rant every week.
Austin Cindric should have won that race. He deserved to win that race.
Yes.
Let's see.
Kyle Larson should have won that race, but he wrecked himself and Cindric.
Yeah, no, Austin Cindric was going to make that pass before Kyle Larson wrecked him, and he should have won that race. That was Team Penske's race to win. Anyways, the 19 team fined $100,000 and lost 100 points. James Small is suspended for 4 races for a spoiler violation at Daytona. Now, they are appealing the suspension, so James Small hasn't been suspended yet. And Gibbs' statement is the issue in question was caused in the assembly process when bolts used to attach the spoiler base to the deck lid caused pre-drilled holes to wear due to supplied part interference. So they're blaming NASCAR's supplied parts. We'll see where that goes. Listening to the Fox broadcast the other day, they said it could be a couple of weeks before the appeals process is heard. So we'll see what happens there. For folks at the track or listening on the radio, there's a new voice of NASCAR. MRN and PRN created the NASCAR Racing Network, so it seems like they're merging together there. Dodge is eyeing a return to the Truck Series. I think we mentioned this last week. I couldn't remember if not or what. Speaking of truck drivers, Corey Heim is signing a development deal with 2311. He's going to run some select races in the Cup Series this year. He ran last year, filling in for Eric Jones. Did a great job at Dover and a couple other places too, I think.
Well deserved.
I tell you, I feel like Corey Heim is going to be a big deal. He needs that full-time ride in the Cup Series. I think he's ready to go now too.
Me too.
I think the whole Heim time thing is kind of lame when he wins, but he does a lot of winning, so they had to come up with something. Yeah. And then it seems like the Clash is expected to return to Bowman Gray in 2026. I tell you what, I liked it. I liked the Clash. Didn't mind it at all. Shrey, you're shaking your head.
Listen, I like that we went. It was great. I'm happy for the folks out west, that don't get to see, that part of the country. We don't really race there. But, out in the hills, we don't go out of Montana and all that.
Bowman Gray's in North Carolina, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. We will knock no more. But, no. We're good then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Won't even make an argument.
No, I thought it was good.
What was I thinking of?
I don't know.
I think you're thinking about the race out in LA.
You're thinking of Bozeman. Are you thinking of Bozeman, Montana?
I'm not even. Don't even try getting in his head, dude. We'll just let that go.
All right, and then
I didn't pay well attention in school, dude. So that shows right there.
He confused Bozeman, Montana, with Bowman Gray.
Same guy.
Yeah. Actually, whatchamacallit, Bowman Gray is named after a guy. He worked for Winston-Salem or something. Dude. Yeah. Anyways, like we said, the truck race, Kyle Busch won, Austin Hill won again in the Xfinity Series.
Put on a clinic, dude.
Yeah,
he's so good. He's so good at super speedways, man.
I'll tell you what, though, I was getting pissed because I wanted Allgaier, Justin Allgaier, to make a push, and try to do something different when he got up there, and he finally gets up there, and then it was he was just like everybody else, not making a move on him, and I was like, what is going on? I don't know. I was getting frustrated. I wanted Allgaier to get up there, and he was doing good, and then he got wrecked, and then it totally deflated me like a Tom Brady football.
Yeah.
Then kind of I knew it. Austin Hill, he killed it. The best car won on Saturday. I was just Justin Allgaier all in. I wanted the 7 to really come in there, and
I was surprised because anytime someone had something for Austin Hill, I know Jesse Love was cutting it up with them, and then they just kept swapping positions.
When Jesse Love got washed out, it was over. It was nobody was there to give Austin Hill a true fight. They were content with just, hey, we're gonna roll around and follow you, bud.
Yeah.
I'm what's going on?
Jesse Love is gonna be really, really good.
Yep.
And then the Cup race, Christopher Bell led one time for one lap, 3 hours, 27 minutes, 37 seconds, time of the race, 11 cautions for 63 laps, 50 lead changes among 15 different drivers. I tell you what, I was surprised stage 1 went completely green and that we made it up for it in stage 2. There were just so many cautions. Your top 5, Christopher Bell, Carson Hocevar, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who a lot of people are mad at too for wrecking Chase
Stenhouse is back, and it's 2016 all over again, and I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah.
I'm ready. That's when Ricky was born in Pocono, dude. Dovin's truck, he was working Pocono, him and Dirt. And he goes, here's the keys, Shredder. Go have fun, turn 1. I take Dovin's truck, brand new lift that year, driving. There's a Jeep stuck in the mud pit. They used to have a mud bog over there.
Yeah.
I get over there. There's a Jeep stuck. I start doing donuts around them in 2-wheel drive, dude. Fucking Ford power, baby. There's my first F-bomb ever on this chat. Let's go, dude. I've had my hand up the window. Dovin's truck was packed with dirt, dude. He comes back from working, and Eric just looks at his rig and was like, are you kidding me? Dude, it was awesome. But we're on turn one, dude. We're on the ladder rack, the knack rack, and we're yelling Ricky because, dude, he was on a tear. He caused 3 wrecks, I swear to God, at Pocono. And, dude, it was unreal. It was awesome. Ricky was born that day.
He was on an uptick. Like the past couple years, it's like
we were defending him.
Maybe he caught some talent. Maybe he found his sea legs in the Cup Series.
No,
man, I'll tell you what. Even last year, he was kind of getting back into Recky Stenhouse territory, and he's back. He's back
now. Yeah. In his defense, I watched that replay back again today from an in-car cam from Tyler Reddick's in-car. And you could see Ryan Blaney chops the nose off of Ricky Stenhouse, and that's when he came down into Chase Briscoe. A lot of people.
House is back.
Yeah, he could have lifted. He didn't, though. That's it.
2 weeks in a row already. The 2025.
Oh, guess what? We're going to COTA. We're going to COTA. I would like to put down a wager right now that he's involved in something on Sunday this week.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But fellas, what'd you think about the race? We'll go with Shrey this week. What'd you think? What was your grade?
So I have here, and this race should be an A, but I can't do it like me. It has every argument to be an A. I'm a teacher. I can't give the kid an A. I can't give it an A minus. I'm going B plus. I got to just be real with myself. For me, it wasn't the end of the race that the way it ended. Should it have? Did they throw an early that caution? Did it mess everything up? Listen, it was what needed to be done. I truly think that. I think NASCAR did the right move. So I just would it have been a better finish for the fan? Yes, but I don't count that. The reason for me is I was all in on the Wood brothers, you know?
Yeah,
and
dude, yeah.
I thought my boy was going to come maybe give a good fight for a top 5, if not a top 3, if not a checkered flag.
Yeah.
We were there.
And
he was there.
He had a hot rod. And I'll say hot rod. I'll only say it. I said it twice. I can't say it again.
He did have a hot rod, though.
Yeah,
he did. All the Penske cars did.
He did, man. That whole Penske team, their affiliate, the whole Penske, like they came to race, and I was loving it. Then, man, fourth quarter, I'm about to hike this ball, and I'm like Tom Brady's football. Like he gets punted out of it. And he's not there to fight for the end of it. Like you did all this work, you're there, and I think it was him. I think he made a bad call. He put himself in the he made the wrong move. You can blame Denny and all that, but I think he was a little hungrier than I don't know, just all new to him. And I didn't expect this because he's a short track guy. Didn't expect this ace like that he potentially could be at a Supermore Speedway. And but no, I enjoyed it. Just that deflated me. It took me out. Then, I wanted Hocevar to just get payback, and it never happened.
Yeah.
And
I was nervous. Hocevar might have won that race too.
And that would have pissed. I would have given it a C. Because here it is. I have nothing against the guy, but I have something against him when he gives 2 different, after the race, you give 2 different interviews. You give your Fox PC, and then you give a subpar news outlet, like the real you.
Yeah.
Be real all the way around. You're not making any friends out there, though. And now you got 2 ex-champions of the sport. You got Kyle Busch wanting to kill you. You got
Ryan Blaney,
and being
Ross
upset.
Chastain,
and Shitstain himself. You left a skid mark on his ass. He's upset.
Ross Chastain is the last person in the field that you want pissed off at you.
Well, yeah, he's got that fucking
2
hammer
years ago,
fist.
I would say so, but he's changed. I hate Ross. I do. I hate him like you hate Kyle. But I will say this, I gotta give him credit. He was quiet last year. Ross wasn't the Ross of the year before.
Yeah.
And he grew up. I think Denny really checked his ass.
Mr. H Mr. H got in his ear and ripped him a new one. And ever since then, he changed the way he raced, and it affected him negatively, because then he kind of like, he wasn't battling for wins anymore. He wasn't even battling for top fives, barely top tens, because he was changing his aggressive style. That's somebody who, I mean, maybe I'm going to sound hypocritical here, but that's somebody who, like, the aggression worked for him, man. Like, yeah, it did. It kind of neutered him, you know. Like,
but here it is. But when you do those things, and you got three Cup car drivers, you know, who are they're better than you, and you said it yourself, you know, in your interview. And one of them, that you're not always up there. Well, now you're up there, and now you have chosen to race this way, and people are gonna race you the way you race them. And guess what? I think they're gonna wash him out. You know, these Cup guys aren't gonna sit there and take it, because you either get along or you play. Like, you got to get along to play along. Like, he's not gonna always be able to do this. So I think the next time they're at, like, Talladega, you know, and Super Motor Speedway, and if he's up there, are they gonna trust him? I don't think so, because you did egregious act. Like, what he did to Ryan Blaney was flat out wrong. You don't push it going into a turn. Like that was flat out wrong, and then you don't apologize for it after, and then you give, I don't know. But on my race grade, I said lead changes quite often. It was fun. The lanes were fast and moving, and it was entertaining. It was phenomenal. So Josh Berry he kind of ruined it for me. I get it. It sucks, you know. It's hard to be like, yeah, that was a great race, but my guy fucking got wrecked out at the end there, and he had a chance to win. Like, I mean, that was my season last year. Yeah. How about you, Matt? What did you think? Close to Shrey. You know, I think a B+ is a completely fair grade for that race. I gave it an A. But man, you're right, Shrey. Like where our guy is Josh Berry, and I think all of us are on SVG too, like as kind of like a secondary guy. But I love seeing Josh Berry up front. It was awesome to see, and just, you know, watching him get wrecked out sucked. But I enjoyed the racing, and it's what I'm about to say it's my own words, but it's a lot of other people's words that I've been hearing too. What we saw on Sunday is what we all want to see for the Daytona 500. It's what we all want to see in Talladega. It's that type of racing. Denny said it on his podcast. Yeah, it aspires to be that's closer. What we saw in Atlanta is closer to what super speedway racing was when we were growing up, that I fell in love with the sport. And so I told you, I think I mentioned it a couple times, and I said it the first time on Saturday night when I was drinking during the Xfinity race. I said, guys, I'm close to saying Atlanta is my new favorite track. Guys, I'm going to say it. Atlanta is my new favorite track under the circumstances of the car that we have right now, the way that track races, and the way the other tracks don't race. All that it's got to be that one or Kansas. Where I was going to say, those are the two best right now. Kansas, awesome. And you guys can't forget about Phoenix. Ooh, how about Pocono, Ricky? Pocono. You want to know what? Pocono does race great with this new car. I was just joking, Matt. Anyways, no, I totally agree. Atlanta, Kansas, Pocono, Dover, loving Dover these days. Dover's great. And Nashville with the concrete. Really, concrete tracks. Michigan, great track right now with this car. Again, concrete and the resin. But I'm with you guys. I gave it an A. Like you said, and like we said last week, Atlanta races the way the Daytona race used to be before the repave. And I was telling you guys last week, man, dude, you got to start watching this Tubi NASCAR channel. I was watching, I think it was the 2014 Atlanta race, the first one that it was Carl Edwards' first win in the Cup Series. It was a nail biter to the end. It was a great fucking race. So if you guys aren't watching the Tubi channel, definitely go check it out. But it reminded me of watching the old Daytona races on Tubi leading up to the 500. I'm like, man, this is the type of racing that I love. And we got it.
Absolutely loved it front to back. Seabell definitely lucked into that win, but I didn't mind it because
I didn't mind it.
He wasn't up front at all on Sunday, really. It was clearly a Penske show, Josh Berry included, and I wasn't mad about that with the exception of Logano, because fuck Logano, but I would have been happy to see any of those guys win on Sunday because they were definitely deserving it. Cindric had a rocket ship. And even though it didn't work out, it showed that the skills of super speedway racing that we were talking about, and everyone in Penske has those skills. They build those fast cars and everything. It wasn't until the end of that second stage where there was that weird caution right before the end, kind of flipped the stage on everybody, and then all those Chevys kind of made their way to the front by staying out, or pitting and then staying out during the end of the stage. Kind of shook up the race a little bit, which made me upset because then you saw like guys kind of get stuck in the back of the pack. Reddick got stuck there. He was running like top 10 all day long. And then once that, he kind of got fucked over. Good finishing, ended up in a wreck, which wasn't thrilled about. But yeah, I thought it was an A, definitely an A race for me. Really, really enjoyed it. Let's see. Some of the guys I thought did great too. Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, they led a lot of laps. Kyle Busch led 5 times for 13 laps. Ross Chastain led 7 times for 25 laps. They finished 7th and 8th. Again, those were guys that got to take advantage of that late caution in the second stage that really shook everything up. Kyle Larson was one of those guys too. Of course, he finished third.
Can we mention something? I don't know if you're going to. But you need to mention Michael McDowell being the lucky dog like 10,000 times.
Yeah, dude. So I didn't realize he was.
I didn't realize that. Was he really?
So I was
dude, like insane, dude. It's like a fake thing if you look it up, dude.
So I didn't. Well, no. Here's the thing. So I didn't realize until listening to Denny Hamlin's podcast this morning. They brought it up. Michael McDowell was 6 laps down, and he was the lucky dog every single caution, and he got back on the lead lap. He got back on the lead lap. Where did he finish? It throws me off his new number. Is
13th, I think.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. That's funny.
Michael McDowell came from 6 laps down to finish 13th on the lead lap in the 71 car for Spire.
All time, dude.
If Eric was here, he'd be pissed because he would have.
Oh, dude, that's a Daytona run sore spot of all time.
Yeah, I just had to mention
especially because of who it is.
Well, forget that. Forget who it is, but that's just unreal.
It is. That is a crazy thing.
Eric hates Michael McDowell.
I know. I'm not saying it because I like him. It's just a crazy stat.
It's hilarious. I don't know if it was before the Daytona 500 or if it was before this Atlanta race. I think it might have been before Atlanta. Fox ran a Tom Rinaldi story about Michael McDowell, how he has an adopted son. Michael McDowell apparently away from the track is like this wholesome human being.
Yeah.
And just the fact that Eric hates him so much makes it so much better that Michael McDowell is like this almost borderline priesthood, and he just hates him.
That's it,
McDowell. The devil? Everything is the devil to you, Eric. I like Michael McDowell.
From everything I could tell, Michael McDowell is like super religious, but like really, really lives it. Where he adopted kids to give them a better life. He helps other people all the time. Has all sorts of charities and all this stuff. And
what's he thumping more, the Bible or his old lady?
He's got a lot of kids. So it might be split down the center on that one. But here's the thing. Eric hates him for legitimate reasons because he races Eric Jones like a fucking asshole.
He really does. Really does.
Watch McDowell on a road course and watch how many people he gets into. Him and Suarez have beef on road courses all the time. Him and Jones get into it. McDowell is a fucking menace.
And Suarez got into it. Remember that one time after like practice or qualifying or something? Was it Swartz who flipped him over?
Yeah, Swartz laid him out during practice. Back in the garage. I forget what year it was. It was like 2018 or 2019, something like that. But dude,
that was awesome.
You want to know what? That's why he has to be holier than thou off the track, because he races these guys like a scumbag too. So Shrey, I am glad you brought that up, because that is a great storyline from the race.
I had to.
When we were talking to Eric earlier, since we're still talking about the race, I owe it to him, and I'll just read the text message verbatim that Eric sent to us.
Oh
today.
yeah. I forgot.
While I'm here, I mean, I have his race grade as well. So Eric gave it an A. He said, what super speedway racing should be. Handling mattered, and tire wore just enough to make a difference. Great race. Shitty couple drivers ruined it. And then he said, Matt, can you please, for me, absolutely reiterate my displeasure for that jackass named Custer, LOL. What an idiot award goes to him, and close second is the 77. So yeah, listen. If you're a longtime listener of this podcast, you know how much me and Eric dislike Cole Custer.
I'll say this, though.
He's an Xfinity Series champion right here.
Got this week to go to the 77. If you were around him, dude, he thought he was at an amusement park playing bumper cars, dude. Like, what?
Now, I have to ask, because I can't remember from the race. I should have watched the highlights today, and I didn't. What did Cole Custer do this week? I know he was involved in an accident, but did he cause an accident?
He didn't. I think didn't he T-bone someone during, like, he didn't slow down during an accident? Maybe he did. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's
probably got to me at some point.
It was during a wreck. I believe he just fucking covered his eyes, smashed the gas down, and away he went into the side.
I was too busy watching Michael McDowell get the lucky dog.
Well, that's the thing. So Cole Custer, he only completed 183 laps. Suarez, Gregson, Cody Ware, Cole Custer, and JJ Yaley were all taken out of the race at the same time. But I can't for the life of me remember that wreck. There were so many wrecks in that second stage and like so many cautions. It really was hard to remember. Did we I feel like we covered pretty much everything though. We mentioned the Chase Elliott wreck. That actually brings us to our last place here on the Bummer Run Podcast. Everyone wants to talk about Christopher Bell on a Monday, although like there's nothing really to talk about C-Bell in this race in the winter on a Monday. But Brad Keselowski got into Chase Elliott after Chase Elliott got hit by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and broke a toe link, and that was what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Stenhouse washed up the track, got Chase into the wall. Almost thought Chase was going to save that one too. It was pretty impressive. And then Brad Keselowski just T-boned the shit out of him. But other than that, I'm not exactly sure. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on the race?
Blaney had a hell of a save.
Blaney did have a hell of a save. Good thing they threw that caution though, or else he definitely would have went like a lap or two down just to get back to pit road and change tires. And he had a great finish because of that save too. Where did Blaney finish? In fourth. So ended up working out for him. Penske cars, man, they were fast.
Something Shrey said earlier that I just want to pat him on the back because I agree with him, was having to throw that caution at the end of the race. Like, listen, we all wanted to see the 3 wide that we saw last year, right? But they threw it. Like, did it ruin the end of the race? Like, maybe, I guess, right? Like, we don't know what was going to happen, but
as a fan, you want to see
it. Had to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be. You can't have cars spinning and people, like, I don't know, nervous that they're going to get hit. You know, and you're driving by him full speed 180. Like, you can't. Under no circumstance. And, like, listen, people will get hurt if you don't do it. Like, and it's going to happen.
Josh Berry said he hit the back wall. Like, he bounced off. He ping-ponged a little bit.
That's the worst when you hit the rear.
It was like 30-some G's that it hit. It took a lot out of him. And then it kind of goes back to Saturday night, too, because they didn't throw.
They messed up.
They didn't throw the caution when they should have.
Yep.
And And NASCAR even said in the pre-race meeting with the drivers that they blew that call on Saturday night. And if it came down to it on Sunday, they wouldn't wait to throw the caution. So a lot of fans online, a lot of people on Twitter, they were saying like, oh, NASCAR inconsistencies once again. But in my mind, this is NASCAR being consistent where they acknowledged a mess up and they're like, we're not going to make that mistake. You know,
I'll say this. You can't, like NASCAR needs to be better. I just don't think they care about the drivers. Like, here's what I mean by that. The drivers will agree with that caution flag coming out.
Yeah.
They all would agree. The fan doesn't want it to come out because it's not exciting. You're not going to get the 3-car coming across the finish. Oh, who get the measuring tape out. It's about time they listen to the drivers. Like, you need to make that call every time. It can't be a spontaneous thing. You need to be consistent in that.
Listen,
you need to be.
Not to get morbid, right? We're having a good time here, but I remember the day Senior died. I remember the way my father cried the day Senior died. He's the last one who has died in a NASCAR sanctioned race. I remember watching Austin Dillon flip over and over and over again.
Thinking he was going to be dead.
I remember Ryan Newman at the Daytona 500 in 2020 flipping over and over and over again, getting sent to the same hospital that Dale Sr. got sent to. Not sure if he was going to walk away. Those moments suck because whatever happened, whatever competitive action happened in the race, you don't even care about it. Like, I remember when Newman, when we weren't sure what was happening with him, like, I didn't give a shit about what happened in the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
I was just waiting to see that Ryan Newman was okay. And I'm not like the biggest Newman fan, but at the end of the day, like, give me the safety and make sure that all these guys walk away so we can see a race and enjoy a race next week instead of memorializing someone over a 3-wide finish every time.
I mean, you did forget. You forgot though. When Pablo Montoya killed a jet dryer. So.
That's the race that got me back in. Like, famously, that's the race that got me back into NASCAR because I took a couple years off. Like, I just kind of naturally just stepped away from NASCAR for a few years.
All flames. I'll never forget that race. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So that's when, side note here, Andre and I were living together in college, and I had that race on. It was delayed to Monday night, and I had that race on, and Juan Pablo Montoya does that. Andre comes walking into the room. The track is on fire, and he's like, dude, if this is what NASCAR is, I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I haven't missed a race since then.
Yeah, that's a hell of a way to get back into it too. I remember watching like a little bit of that Daytona 500 in college too, but I just remember it being on, and it's like the commotion of the jet dryer, and that's all I remember. I'm like, all right, I'm out. Awesome. Whatchamacallit? That's all I got for this race weekend, though. You guys got anything else?
Nope, not looking forward to this weekend.
All right. Yeah. Nope. Well, we have COTA next, but first we got to make our picks. To go over our picks from last week, Shinny Ricky was the big winner. He picked Denny Hamlin to win. Hamlin didn't win, but he got you 37 points. Unfortunately, that means you get to pick last this week for COTA. Matt, you came in second. You picked Ryan Blaney. He got you 36 points. You picked second to last. I picked Austin Cindric, was looking like a great pick, and he got me 20 points, and that's why I was extra bitter about Kyle Larson, because I thought I was going to have that win in the bag. And then Eric picked Brad Keselowski, got him 1 single point. So
Eric has 5 points through 2 races. Oh my God.
That's what you get though. Super Motor Speedway, you know.
That's the thing. When you start the season off with two speedways,
that's a great point. That's a great point
because
it's a crapshoot.
Let's scroll down and see. Cody Ware has 4 points, and Noah Gragson has 13 points, and they're Cup Series drivers. So yeah, Eric picks first with he picked Ty Gibbs to win, which I think is an excellent pick, to be honest with you. If you look at
that would be cool, man. I'd be pumped for the kid. He deserves it, man. He's been doing good in the last couple of years.
Now
it's coming. Every year we say, it's coming.
He's due. I like him.
Yeah,
I do.
I think he's much more mature than I thought he would be in the Cup Series, and I'm waiting for that win. Me and Matt, it seems like every week for a good stretch or so, we'll be like, "Oh, this is Gibbs' week. This is Gibbs' week," and he just hasn't gotten it yet. So we'll see if this week is Ty Gibbs' week to get his first win in the Cup Series. I'm gonna go with a guy who hasn't won at COTA yet, but he has the best average finish at COTA, and that is one Alex Bowman. We'll see if Bowman, the showman, could get it in victory lane. He won a street race last year. We'll see if he can win a road course race this year to lock himself into the playoffs. Matt, who do you have for COTA this week?
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. They call me Statman Matt for a reason.
Yeah.
You're
going to steal my guy. I know it. I know it. I'm going to write it down. So
you just said something that caught me because when I was trying to figure out who I was going to pick, I looked at the stats.
Yeah.
You said that this guy has the best average finish at COTA. You said Bowman does, right?
Yeah.
Not so fast, my friend, because my pick is the guy who has the best average finish. Alex Bowman has a 4.3 average finish. This guy has a 4.0 average finish through 4 races at COTA. He's got 4 top 10s, 3 top 5s, and a win. Shrey's favorite driver, Ross Watermelon Man Chastain.
And what does that say right there?
Wow.
You scumbag.
Wow.
You scumbag, dude. That's who I was picking, dude. I wrote it down. I wrote my pick down, dude. That says Ross. I should have said shit stain. What a scumbag, dude. I'm pissed.
When did we switch to the new car? Was it 2022?
There's only been 4 COTA races.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
I only have 3, so my stats
Whitey
might be...
is about to fight. When you told Whitey he was wrong,
well,
dude,
no.
I see the steam coming out of every orifice of Whitey.
I'm not somebody who likes to tell someone, "Hey, you're wrong." I'm really not. I get no enjoyment out of that. But because I was looking at the stats as he was saying it, I was like, "No, wait a second. That's because I was going to pick Ross."
So
I'm fired up now.
Ross, when you said it, I'm like, "Oh no!"
I'm sitting here. I forgot that this whole thing. I forgot we pick. So this whole time, I'm like, "Oh, okay." And in my head, I thought of Ross being a scumbag 2 years ago, and I'm like, "I'm picking Ross." And I wrote it down, and I knew you were going to scum me. I knew it. You doored me. You doored me.
I can't tell you how many times that's happened on this show where
way to wash up the track like Kyle Larson right into me.
So
he yelled me.
So first,
wash right up, brother.
First, I have to defend our friend at iFantasy Race, Ryan, because that's where I pulled this stat, and I think it might be next gen car only because the first COTA race was in the old car, I believe. And
it had to have been. It had to have been because
it was that weird rain race, right?
2020, 2021, 22, and 20.
No, 24, 23, 22, and 21. 21 would have been in the old car. So,
21 was the first. 21 was the first year of the new car because 2020 was supposed to be the first year the pandemic happened.
Okay,
and then they.
All right, we have 3 minutes left, so I can't argue about stats anymore because we're going to run out of time in the show. Either way, I Fantasy Race Ryan only did the last 3 years. So for the last 3 years, Alex Bowman has been the number 1 average finish.
I think I'm wrong. I'm not wrong with the best average finish. I think I'm wrong. I think the first year for the new car was 2022.
Okay, I think so too. I can't remember.
I think I'm wrong there.
All right, we got 3 minutes to get through.
That's where the 3 races comes from.
I know, but we got 3 minutes to get through this. All right, Shrey, what is your pick? Because right now in the last 3 races, Alex Bowman was the number 1. Ross Chastain was number 3 with the best average finish, and Ty Gibbs was number 4. I just want to know if you picked number 2 or not.
All right, so you just said pick number 2. So okay, Austin Cindric it is.
All right. His best average finish here is actually where is it?
I have him at 14.3.
He has the 7th.
And hold the hell going.
He has the seventh
I'm
best
going
one.
with the 8 car, Kyle Busch.
All right, well, the second best average finish is Tyler Reddick, but we will find out. Let's see.
That's who I thought you were. Yeah, sorry. We really got off topic.
We're running out of time, guys. We got 2 races in the 2025 season. William Byron and Christopher Bell are locked into the playoffs. We are heading to COTA. Let's see. Trucks are not racing this week. We got the Xfinity race 2:30 on the CW for the Focus Health 250 on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. And the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix is 3:30 on Fox for the Cup Series. Who will it be? Will it be Ross Chastain? Will it be Alex Bowman? Will it be Ty Gibbs, or will Kyle Busch win in that 8 car down in Texas? We will find out this Sunday, 3:30 on Fox. We'll break it all down for you right here on the Bumper Run Podcast next Tuesday night. For Matt the Statman Reilly, for Robbie Shredder Shrey, and for Eric Daytona Ron, I'm Michael D. White saying have a good night. The Bumper Run